Okay everybody, so it is round 18 of the AFL 2025 footy season, and I'm going to be showing you guys today what I think is going to happen in the back half of the season. So with this game, it's on right now. The D's are up by 4, and I think they'll get up by 2 goals. Okay, now for St Kilda Sydney, I feel like St Kilda may be the better side here, and it isn't Marvel, so I'm going to tip them by 8 points. Port Adelaide West Coast, pretty easy game. West Coast could put out a bit of a fight, but I reckon Port Adelaide by 25. Right, now into round 19. At Marvel, we've got Essendon and GWS. Essendon could pull something very good, but I reckon GWS may be the strongest side here, but it isn't Marvel, so I'm going to tip the Giants by 11 points. Brisbane Bulldogs, I reckon to the Gabba, but I'm going to go the Lions by 14 points. Hawthorn Port Adelaide, I think it's UTAS instead of York Park, but early in the year, Hawks got thrashed in this match, but I'm going to tip the Hawks by 16 as a better side this season, well, as of now. Sydney North Melbourne, pretty straightforward, but North can fight back. I reckon it'll be a close one by 13. Sydney by 13. Carlton Melbourne, this is a good game, and it's at the MCG, both an MCG home side, but I reckon Carlton get their job done by 8. West Coast Richmond, not being biased to my own team right now, as we suck, we're in 17th, but I'm going to go the Tigers by 7. Geelong St Kilda at GMHBA, I'm going to go the Cats by 22. Collingwood Freo, Collingwood is like basically unstoppable, but yeah, I'm going to go them by 3 goals. Adelaide Gold Coast, Adelaide's very good at home. Yeah, I'm going to go them by 23. Hawthorn Carlton, yeah, Hawthorn. Go them by 17. Essendon Bulldogs, Bulldogs. GWS Sydney, ooh, it'll be close, but I reckon the Giants do get the job done by 2 goals. Gold Coast Brisbane, ooh, this is a tough one. I'm going to go the Lions though by 15. Freo West Coast. Freo should beat West Coast by, I'm going to say 59. North Geelong. I reckon Geelong, they'll only win by 4 goals. Adelaide Port Adelaide, Adelaide, they're just a better side. Richmond Collingwood will get thrashed. I'm going to tip Collingwood by 55. St Kilda Melbourne, ooh, Marvel. Melbourne don't really play as much of footy there, but they can be good. I'm going to tip the Saints by 16. Bulldogs GWS at Marvel. Doggies by 21. Adelaide vs Hawthorn at Adelaide. I reckon Adelaide win by 2. Melbourne West Coast. Melbourne by 41. Gold Coast Richmond. Gold Coast by 45. Sydney Essendon at the SCG. Sydney should win by 15. Collingwood Brisbane. This is probably the most important game for the Pies because they need this because Adelaide's kind of catching up. But I reckon I'm going to tip Collingwood by 25. St Kilda North. St Kilda should win this by 29. Geelong Port Adelaide at the GMHBA. Geelong by 25. Freo Carlton. Freo by 16. Hawthorn Collingwood. Collingwood by 28. Geelong Essendon at GMHBA again. I'm going to go Geelong by 30. Richmond St Kilda. It's at the MCG. St Kilda don't play as good footy there. But I reckon they can still win. So I'm going to tip them by 3 goals to beat the Tigers. Brisbane vs Sydney at the Gabba. Pretty straightforward. Carlton Gold Coast. Tip them by 15. The Suns. Port Adelaide Freo. Freo should win. GWS North. I'm going to tip the Giants by 21. Melbourne Bulldogs. I reckon Bulldogs only just get up here. And they win by 5. Adelaide should win this. Essendon St Kilda at Marvel. I have a feeling that Essendon win this by 3. It's a crazy tip, but anyway. Freo Brisbane. Brisbane by 16. Gold Coast GWS. I feel like Gold Coast win by 9. Carlton Port Adelaide. I'm going to tip Port Adelaide by 13. Hawthorn Melbourne. Hawks should get up here. I'm going to tip them by 24. Adelaide Collingwood. Collingwood. Oof. I reckon North by 15. Sydney Geelong. Geelong should get up on top. Oof. Bulldogs West Coast. Bulldogs by 54. Gold Coast Essendon. Gold Coast should win this. I tip them by 13. Giants Saints. Giants by 11. Adelaide North. Adelaide just are like the strongest side here. Their forward line isn't as good as all the other teams, but their back line is like really good. And their mid is okay. It's kind of good. But yeah, just judging off the ladder and how these two teams are playing, I reckon Adelaide win this game by 27. So Collingwood have slotted their thing in first place, which most people would kind of agree with. Bulldogs Freo. I'm going to tip Bulldogs by 13. Collingwood Melbourne. Collingwood should get up, so I'm going to tip them by 25. Richmond Geelong. Geelong by 29. Essendon Carlton. This is probably like a good game, but I reckon Carlton are going to win by 7. Brisbane vs Hawks. Brisbane by 14. Port Adelaide vs Gold Coast. I reckon Gold Coast get up by 9. West Coast Sydney. West Coast should lose this game by 44. And there you have it. These are your ladder predictions by me. So in last place we have, surprise surprise, the West Coast with 1 win. They might get another one, and 22 losses. 17, another surprise surprise, is Richmond with 5 wins and 18 losses. 16th is North Melbourne with 5 wins, 17 losses, and of course the 1 draw. 15th is Essendon with 7 wins, 16 losses, and 0 draws. 14th is Melbourne with 7 wins and 16 losses. 13th is Carlton with 8 wins and 15 losses. 12th is Port Adelaide with 9 wins and 14 losses. St Kilda with the same win amount and loss amount, with 9 and 14. Sydney, 10 wins, 13 losses. And then it jumps up now. Just missing out on finals is Freo with 14 wins and 19 losses. The top 8 is Hawthorn. So 8th is Hawthorn with 14 wins and 9 losses. 7th is GWS with 15 wins and 8 losses. 6th is Bulldogs with 15 wins and 8 losses. 5th is Gold Coast in their first ever final appearance with 16 wins and 7 losses. 4th is Geelong with 17 wins and 6 losses. 3rd is Adelaide with 17 wins and 6 losses. Brisbane are 2nd with 17 wins, 5 losses, and of course the 1 draw against North, which was very surprising. And first is another surprise, Collingwood with 20 wins and 3 losses. Okay, we'll start off the finals with Collingwood Geelong, 1st versus 4th. It's a tough one, but I reckon the Pies get up. Okay, now on to the elimination final, which is Gold Coast versus Hawthorn, 5th versus 8th. It is at People's First Stadium, according to my calculations, but Gold Coast just play better footy, able to get out of so many sticky situations, and yeah, I'm going to tip them. The other elimination final, Bulldogs Giants. Bulldogs obviously do have some key players that play their role, and that's why I reckon that will help them to win the elimination final against the Giants. Brisbane versus Adelaide in the 2nd qualifying final, 2nd versus 3rd. I reckon Brisbane's honestly just too good for Adelaide. But yeah, I'm going to tip Brisbane. Okay, now on to the semi-final. Geelong versus Gold Coast. It's a tough one, but it is Gold Coast's first final appearance, and they're going to push their luck and try win all the games, but I really don't think that's going to happen, and Geelong will win the semi-final to knock the Gold Coast Suns out of their first ever final. Second semi-final is between the Crows and the Bulldogs. It's at the Adelaide Oval, which Adelaide do play very well at, and it will probably help them have an advantage. So yeah, I'm going to tip the Crows. Okay, now on to the preliminary finals. We have Collingwood and Adelaide. Obviously, Collingwood bet them early in the year by 10 points. And they've won, I'm pretty sure, the last 10 times. So, yeah, I reckon it'll have a boost of confidence. and yeah, they'll make it to the grand final. The second preliminary final is Brisbane versus Geelong. Geelong do seem like a side that you never know what's going to happen every week. Same with Brisbane. This is the Gabba, but I reckon Geelong do play good footy everywhere, no matter where it is. So I'm going to tip the Geelong Cats to go into the grand final against the Collingwood Magpies. Okay, this is quite a tough game to predict because both teams play good footy very, very well. Obviously, Collingwood are like basically everybody kind of knows that they're going to come first and all that. But anyway, anything could happen. But I have a feeling that some Geelong players that don't really find much as like run on the ball as Collingwood does, which will play a key role, and they'll like win the first 3 quarters, but then Collingwood will come back, and I reckon they're going to win the grand final by 15 points. So there you have it. Collingwood Magpies are the premiers for the 2025 season. Have a good day. Peace.